Welcome to the Business Growth Podcast. Today I'm here with Nick, the co-founder of Xenett and Etisson. Welcome to the show, Nick.
Thank you, Leonard. Thank you for inviting me to the show.
Alrighty, I'm looking forward to getting stuck in. So tell us a little bit more about what you guys do at Xenett and Etisson.
Yeah, sure. I'm Nick, co-founder at Xenett and Etisson. So basically, Xenett, it's an intelligent, accounting workflow system that help accountants, help close book faster and also help accountant manage their entire workflow on one ecosystem. And on Etisson side, we also help accountants with the back office support with all the accounting services, be it be accounting, tax, control level services.
Hmm. Okay. And where did the idea come from to create these softwares?
So basically, Leonard, before we started out Xenett, we ourselves were an accountants. We ourselves were facing, a lot of these manual review challenges that, a lot of things has to done through spreadsheet. And, despite creating checklists, things were still being missed out. And then, 5 years back, a lot of things were already been, automated. A lot of automation was been introduced at bookkeeping level, bill payment. But then we asked ourselves that is there anything, a solution available on the review side? And answer we got that, there was no solution over. And that's triggered the idea of starting something in that space, where is it possible to create certain rule level logics for the review, like bank rules in the accounting software? Can we create certain rule based checking system, because certain checks are repetitive and we want to automate those checks? And that was our starting point, and that's how we started looking into possibility of automating the review process.
Hmm. So it came from a pain that you had as an accountant and just wondering, is there a way to automate this and not have to do the same thing every month end?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Hmm. Okay. And what did it look like building this software? What was involved with getting this up and running and putting it to the market?
So, I mean, as I said earlier, the starting point was that, what we started looking at is we started looking at different use cases, that what are the checkpoints an accountant look for every month, while they are closing the books. So we started, pointing out all the possible use cases and scenarios, all the pointers an accountant would look for. And then we started building few review points, starting out with tracking the duplicate transactions in the book, any transaction which got miscoded. And we started out testing few use cases, and we see that some of the error points we were able to track and automate. And
Hmm.
then it almost took us couple of years to build an MVP. And after the COVID in 2020, we were ready to roll out our MVP process, MVP product. And that's where in July 2020, we launched our beta product. And for 6 months, we launched during the COVID, and we got a very overwhelming response during this time. And a lot of accountants, like this idea. And then from January 2021, we, formed into a proper product and launched officially in US and Canada market.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. And how did you start the early days? Where did your initial customers come from? And then where do your customers come from these days?
So initially, what we did is we partnered with a lot of influencers, and through those influencers, we started doing few webinar activities. And, from those webinar activities, we got initial traction. And
Hmm.
then, in Facebook groups, and we also started participating in the events in the US. And that's how, initially, the whole idea was spread out through word of mouth, and a lot of people were looking for something in this space, and that's how we got started. And that's how we got the initial adoption of our software.
Hmm. And then how does the integration work exactly with your software? Because I know accountants already have a lot of softwares. They usually have their bookkeeping software that they use. How does yours integrate? Let's say they're using Xero, they're using QuickBooks. Where does yours come in? Is there like an API key or how does that work?
Oh yes, so it's pretty much like integration with the QuickBooks Online and Xero. What it does is, it integrates and pulls all the data, accounting data from the accounting system, and then on all those accounting data, we run our own checks and provide insights and provide anomalies and discrepancies on our platform.
Hmm. And
Yeah.
then it gives like a upload to put back into Xero. Also, like I see
Yeah,
you
so
export from Xero.
yes, it's a two-way sync. So
Okay.
it whatever the changes uh, an accountant makes on our platform, it gets
Hmm.
synced back to the QuickBooks
Gotcha.
Zero. So
Yeah.
yes, it's a two-way system. It can also
Okay.
access the data, and it can also push back any changes and any modification back to the system.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Gotcha. Sounds very handy. And then, so what are some of the projects that you guys are working on at the moment?
So one of our goal, Leonard, is at the moment that we are right now exploring AI as a space that we want AI. We are, utilizing AI at the moment to, automate some of the repetitive work. So what we want is we don't want accountants to get buried down under the data. What we
Hmm.
want is rather than, doing the same repetitive every month, we are utilizing AI to do those repetitive works and help accountant focusing on analyzing the books and making sense of the numbers, and helping accountants to focus more on value added services, right? So
Hmm.
that's where our goal and direction, where we are moving to, that we want to build an ecosystem where
Hmm.
accountants are able to consolidate most of their accounting activities. So basically we focus on three key workflows. One is that day-to-day accounting activities, so managing their task, doing their client communication, managing their internal communication with the team members. So what it does
Hmm.
is, right now a lot of these things are been fragmented at the moment. A lot of things get happen in the email spreadsheet. Lot of communication happens on the teams. So we want to consolidate everything into one ecosystem, one centralized platform. And then
Hmm.
second, we are helping accountants with the entire closing activities, which means, when the month end comes, there should be a systematic way. They should have a clear visibility of, they are able to track all the clients, that what is the status of each client, how we can, they should be able to track all the closing tasks for each team member. And also some of the, most of the review activities are being automated, which means, whatever the checks they are doing on a monthly basis, those checks are being automated, and they are presented in such a way that they just need to analyze those discrepancies, and they can
Hmm.
fix there, and then they can finalize their numbers over there. And third
Right.
is more about, once the numbers are being finalized, it is more about producing the reporting and creating the package and sending it to the client.
Hmm.
So yeah, the I would say a major utility our platform serves at the moment.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha. And then I know when we previously spoke as well, you said one of the challenges that you're facing is like standing out with all the other software options that accountants have. Can you explore a little bit more in terms of that and what you guys are doing to stand out from these other ones?
So right now, I mean, I would say that the whole accounting industry, the whole app industry is evolving a lot. There are, accountants are being overwhelmed with lot of application out there. So one of the major challenge accountants are currently facing is, they are very confused about which application to use for, because there are so many utility out there. So one of our goal is that we want to build an accountant. We want to build the ecosystem, one comprehensive platform where we are able to consolidate every single activity, apart from doing their accounting work, accounting, they should be able to consolidate most of their activities on one single platform.
Hmm.
That's the goal. And we are very much going into that direction, and we are very optimistic that we would be able to serve that one ecosystem, one platform where accountants are able to replace our platform with multiple applications they are currently using for different
Hmm.
utilities.
Yeah. Okay. It sounds very handy because I'm sure most accountants pay a lot of money with all the different softwares that they use.
Yes,
And
yes.
then I guess though, because one of the things is always like best product doesn't win. It's whoever has the best marketing that's the most top of mind. So what are you guys doing in terms of that to get in front of the accountants to know how good your product is and why it's better than your competitions?
So, I mean, it's more like because accountants most of the time they're very clear about what they are expecting and what pains and challenges they are looking for. So it's pretty much like we try to align our our solution with the problems they are currently facing, right?
Yeah.
So for example, for a small firm, the problem or challenges could be different, or for the mid-sized firm, the pain and challenges could be different. So what we
Hmm.
try to do is, based on the challenges, based on what solution they are looking at, we try to map that, and we try to provide solution, and we accordingly set our platform to every single group of accountants, whether it is small firm, mid-size or large size firm, and try to
Yeah.
build the accounting workflow in such a way that it becomes quite efficient, and it gives a good visibility at the practice level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's just creating something that's customized for each
Correct.
individual practice,
Yes,
essentially.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. And then how about any other challenges that you're facing at the moment?
So one of the challenges is more of, I would say, adoption, or making space in this whole overwhelming market, because there are so many apps out there, and
Hmm.
then making sure that accountants are aware about this solution. And our goal is that how we can enable accountants with minimum, having operating their practices with the minimum application.
Yeah,
That's one of the, I would say, not exactly challenges, but something we are aligning ourselves with their expectations.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. And I know we're starting to run out of time here, so how about let's finish on what are you guys up to for the rest of the year for these last few months? What are you working on?
So one of the, for next few months and going forward, one of our goal is that we want to focus on few of the closing activities that
Uh-huh.
still happen outside. So we
Yeah,
want to make sure that there are still activities that are still being done outside. So be it be reconciliations. So we are building the auto reconciliations for certain accounts
mhm.
where you know the accounts get reconciled, and straight away they get the discrepancies on our platform. And
Yeah,
then there are certain you know elements that are still being done out. So for example, email management, or receipts. So those are some of our areas that we are working on, and we are trying to build every single utility and every single area where they have to work outside of our platform. So we are trying
yeah,
to bring that into our system, automate as much as possible, and make
mhm.
that entire process more efficient.
Yeah. Love that. Yeah, efficiency. I love a good process and good efficiency. Take away all the admin tasks and let us focus on the stuff we actually want to do. It's great.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, it's been great having you on your show. Where can people find you guys to learn a little bit more about what you do?
So our website is xenett.com. You can go there and you can find all the details, our value propositions, all the feature details, and yeah, they can set up the demo call.
Mhm.
And yeah, we are good to get all the details from our website.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, I'll put a link in the show notes. It's been great having you on the show. You guys have been listening to the Business Growth Podcast. Until next time, keep growing.